Hey guys, Casey and
Corey.
We're here to help you out with some standards for 19.3. There is a lot of them, so a lot of funky movement going on. I really wish you could see what was going on in the background here. Kadima being Kadima. Okay, so we're going to start movement by movement, and then we'll go back over some strategy for these movements. Corey's going to demo some good reps and some bad reps for these so you guys know what to look for. We're going to start with the overhead lunge. So the lunge is going to begin with the dumbbell in an overhead position. Both feet need to be together, and hips and knees are extended before the rep begins. So his feet are going to start behind the first section of tape here. As he takes a step, his back knee needs to touch the ground. If your back knee misses the ground, it will be a no rep. The dumbbell has to also stay above the athlete's head. So if he does a rep and the dumbbell comes down below his head, that rep will not count even if he stands up with it and presses it out. So he would have to come back to the previous 5-foot line. There's no requirement for you guys to switch arms, but you have to complete the 5-foot section before you would do so. So lunging an entire section, making it across the next line, and then if you needed to switch arms, you would step back behind that first piece of tape again.
Yes.
So you would have to come back. Show it getting all the way across, and good rep. Good reps. One more good rep. Good, and now if you wanted to switch arms here, he could, but you'd have to take a step back and start behind that previous line. So the rep is completed when both legs are locked out and past the line. You must alternate which leg you step with, so no 2 right foot in a row or 2 left foot in a row, and no shuffles between the steps. The shuffle is probably going to be the little balance check that you guys see the most, especially when people are tired. So if you do see a shuffle, then or a lack of control, then that person will have to come back and start from the last line that they started at. For the front rack lunge, you can support the dumbbell on one side or with both hands in front, like either way, as long as one hand stays on the dumbbell at all times, you're good. All right, we're going to go over to the box for some box step-ups. So the rep, okay. The rep begins with both feet on the ground. The dumbbell cannot rest on your leg, or and you can't use your arm to help you push off of the box. So can we?
I'm resting on the leg first.
Perfect. So only your feet are making contact with the box, no hands touching the box. Your free hand may also not push up off of the alternate leg. You must do an alternating, so that's a no rep. You must do an alternating step up. So meaning you have to step up with your right and then step up with your left. Perfect. The rep is complete when the hips and the knees are locked out. You can hold the dumbbell however you like, down by your side, onto your body. I would probably recommend on the body. That way it becomes a little bit more like a weight vest rather than taxing the grip. You can hold it behind your back like that with 2 hands if you like. For most people, that's going to exert a little bit more energy, so I'll definitely test out which strategy. And you can switch it up which way you decide to hold it during the workout. We'll hop over for a handstand push-up.
This is going to be ugly.
Woo-woo! Can't wait. So we'll have the floor measured out for you guys. So every rep begins and ends with at the top of the handstand. So will kick up into a handstand to start each rep. The arms need to be locked out, and only the heels are making contact with the wall. The feet and hands must remain inside the width of the box for the entire rep. Now his fingers can come outside of the lines, and And we're also looking that the head makes contact with the floor at the bottom. The rep is complete when the arms are locked out, hips are open, and body is in line with the arms and heels touching, with the arms and the heels are touching the wall. The palms, again, they can be out on the edges, but as long as the main part of his palm is inside that box, it's good. This will also be a no rep. You have to keep his legs, even though he's showing control, you have to keep his legs within the distance of that box the whole time. Good job, Corey.
5.
Woo!
That counts for a night.
PR. So for your dumbbell strict press, a couple of standards here we'll go over that you may or may not know. Dumbbells need to start at the shoulders and extend into the overhead locked out position. You have to show control during the rep and at the top of the rep. Your legs have to stay extended. That means you're looking for knees and hip extension at the top and a full lockout position with the arms. Can you show the arms not getting locked out? Good, so this will be a no rep. The legs staying extended, this is what you're gonna see all day, so watch out for this. Just a little bounce. Yep, so no rep there. Feet also need to remain planted on the ground. So pushing up onto your toes during a rep, that's a no rep. Your heels have to stay planted. Lastly, excessive backwards bending of the torso is a no rep. Cool? Even if his feet stay planted and he bends backwards, yeah, that's a no rep. Any halt and upward motion is a no rep. That's not something we normally go over here, so that's something a little different that is in the standards. That would be a no rep, okay? So you have to come down and start a new rep from the bottom. How you doing?
Tired. I'm not gonna walk.
Let's do this 5 more times. So the handstand walk, the fingers, palms and fingers have to start behind the first line. If an athlete comes down in the middle of the 5-foot increment, they have to go back and start the previous line. Also, you can see how Corey kind of turns his hands outward like this. If you are an athlete that does your handstand walks with your fingers forward, that means your whole fingers have to be back behind that line. This might help you get started, but it might be harder to walk like this, rather, if you have the wrist mobility to go forward. So every 5 foot is a rep, and athletes have to walk across the lines. They may not jump both hands across the line. So let's just show a pickup, and then we'll see where you get.
Yep,
Perfect.
backward. No, we're getting this 5 feet.
Good job, Corey. Okay, so that would be a 5 foot, and then whenever he kicks up again, he would start right here because he made it past this line.
Didn't count.
For your bear crawl, you have the same standards as the handstand walk. Hands and fingers start behind the line. Both palms have to be on the ground. You may not be up on your fingertips. So hands on the ground. Hips have to be raised above your head height. That means that you have weight in your arms. Can you show me like more of a plank position? Good, so this would be no good. So that means your butt has to be raised up in the air, and it has to stay up in there the whole time. So if he starts dropping during the workout, then I'm gonna have to say, come back and start at the previous line, lift your hips up. So you'd start right here.
No, my feet didn't cross. Feet got across too, right?
Well, I was watching.
Oh, okay.
So to finish each section, hands and feet have to cross the line. Shows a good section. Yep. Good, so his feet have just crossed that 5 foot path. That goes for your last 5 feet as well. Your feet have to cross that line. So we'll go over, that's pretty much it for standards. Was that enough standards for you guys? The strategy for some of these movements, I'll kind of talk to you about that. So for your dumbbell overhead or front rack lunge, you want to think about taking a short break every 25 feet. Maybe that's just setting down the dumbbells, switching hands, trying to get through that working time like a sprint will be ideal. So you move fast and quick, and then reduce your time under tension. Ensure you spread both legs wide on like you're trying to split the floor on your lunges. And then using both legs to really press, stand straight up on your lunge, rather than feeling more like you're doing a single leg movement. On your overhead, don't cock your wrist back. On the overhead position, you want to bring your knuckles up and face them towards the ceiling. That's going to help save your shoulders. On our, let me see, where am I? On our box step ups. Hold on. Yeah. Hold on. I'm going to get it together, guys. I couldn't have more notes. Yeah. Step ups.
Okay.
Okay.
I like that break.
Yeah, take a break.
We could have had a break between handstand
You
push-ups.
can have a water break. Also for all movements, whether it be the lunges or the step-ups, really consider trying not to use that arm out for balance and just letting it hang by your side if you can. If you are looking for a couple of pace times for your lunges, for a 3-minute pace on lunges, that means you need to do 22 seconds per 25 feet. If you're looking at more of a 4-minute pace for lunges, that's a 30 seconds per 25 feet. So just something to kind of give you guys some guidelines there. For your step-ups, don't put the dumbbell down between your last set of lunges and your first set of step-ups. You want to just move straight into those lunges. If you hold the dumbbell, oh, we already kind of went over that. When you rest on the dumbbell step-ups, rest with the dumbbell on your box rather than putting it on the floor. This is going to exert way more energy. No need to do that deadlift when you can just rest it right now. Another pacing, if you want to finish the step-ups in 3 minutes, that means you'll do 10 every 36 seconds. If you want to finish it in 4, you'll do 10 every 48 seconds. So that kind of is another guideline depending on how much time you think you'll need for handstand push-ups. Some of you will only be trying to get 1, and some of you might be a little bit more, advanced in that movement. So pacing-wise, you want to have a strategy going into the beginning, so that way you're not totally burnt out by the time you get there, even though you're probably kind of burnt.
I did 5, I'm done.
So we'll go over to the handstand push-ups and press. Can you kick up and do the assembly?
Kick up going handstand?
Real tight button. Cool, so when he starts his rep, he's really nice and tight. Can you show me being really loose? So here is a real loose rep. I know you're gonna be tired. You probably won't be, you're good, you can come down. Just hold that there for 5 minutes. You'll probably have enough energy to be able to keep your body a little tighter. If you're really loose, it's similar to saying, I want you to strict press with a really loose body and do the stanky leg while you strict press. So keep a nice tight body. For people that are going to go in knowing that they can do strict handstand push-ups, you'll probably want to keep small sets and quick rest. You don't need a ton of recovery time to be able to get back up there, but it's usually just that couple of seconds, kind of like doing Murph or something where you have an excessive amount of push-ups. Just getting a small little break of that tension will help you out. So if you're gonna start with, you're like, oh, I'm gonna start with 5 or 10 reps, and then you get to the point where you're failing or you're doing 1 or 2 reps, you probably need to think like, okay, if I just did 1 or 2 reps from the beginning, you're gonna be able to go longer going like that. So fast singles and doubles are key. Your some pace times for that, if you want to finish these in 2 minutes, which is really aggressive, you would do 5 reps every 12 seconds. If you want to finish in 3 minutes, you would do 5 reps every 18 seconds, and 4 minutes, you would do 5 reps every 24 seconds. Press is the same strategy for the breaks because it's strict and you don't get to use your legs. You're going to want to do small sets, set them down, and then a couple more. Same thing goes for there. And then on your handstand walks, if you're capable of making it more than 5 feet at a time,
wow,
you're going to want to...
Way to call me out, wow.
You're going to want to try to get 10 to 15 feet, like a bigger set on those, because you can shake it out and rest a little bit longer. Granted, at that point in time, the few of you that make it there, I'm already hands down impressed. So that's all we got for 19.3. I hope this video helps, and please make sure that when you're judging, you're being fair and we're getting fair scores. If you see a no rep, call it a no rep. Your friends will still love you. All right, y'all have a good day.